Shabbat Shalom. Or is it Friday Shalom? Or is it Erev Shabbos Shalom? Whatever Shalom you want to take every greeting I give you. This is my Shabbos sermon. I'm recording it on a Friday. You're listening it to on a Friday or a Sunday. I know it's weird, but work with me. If you want to fall asleep, please don't. If you want to heckle from the back, I can hear you. So let's give this a go. Let me start off with some mazel tovs. Firstly, a huge mazel tov to the Kleiner family on Ben's bar mitzvah. Ben, you were brilliant last night. I enjoyed watching you and celebrating and feeling part of your simcha. Also, a happy birthday to Ruth Cohen on her 70th birthday. And mazel tov to Anne and Simon Sirota on the birth of a granddaughter in San Francisco. And finally, a huge mazel tov to Karen and Martin Morgan on the birth of a grandson. Sadly, as a community, we wish long life to Benji Kaplan on the loss of your father, to Emma Duke on the loss of your father, to Barry Rose on the loss of your sister, and to Adam Kane on the loss of your father. Our thoughts and our prayers and our love is with you, even though we physically cannot be with you. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'toch sha'a avelei Tzion Yerushalayim. This coming week, there is loads happening, and I would encourage you to check out the BES Facebook page and join the BES at Yavnel, the BES at Croxdale Group. And more importantly, if you've got friends and family in the community who are not on, please encourage them to join, and especially if they are more towards the elderly end, help them navigate the technology. Also, if you need some support, we have set up a youth group who will be able to give over the telephone support to help you navigate technology and set up the elements required to feel part of our community over the next few weeks. Let me highlight a couple of upcoming events. Firstly, on Saturday night, we are going to be doing another communal Havdalah. Last week was a lot of fun. It was amazing to be able to see people from different parts of our community join together. I'm going to be opening the Zoom group at 7:30, which will allow from 7:30 to 7:40 a chance for people to chat and to mingle. And then at 7:40 we're going to be trying a musical Havdalah thanks to our youth director Alicia. Last week, as I said, was a lot of fun, so please join in. Also, there are various activities happening. Rabbi Chappell will be doing a Mishnah and memorial prayer on Monday at 8:30. But let me highlight Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, we are going to be doing a supper quiz. I call it a supper quiz because in truth, you need to bring your own supper and probably your own glass of wine or pint of beer. This is to support a really important organisation within Bournemouth, that is the Bournemouth Food Bank, who have experienced a huge spike in the call of their resources at this time because so many people across Bournemouth have found their income suddenly drop through the floor. They need our support, so we're going to be doing this supper quiz online. It costs £10 to enter. Book online. The money will be donated to the Bournemouth Food Bank. A huge shout out to the Brownsteins who have championed and helped organise this idea. Also, when I'm saying thank you, let me say a huge thank you to all the volunteers who have made calls over the last week to those who are vulnerable, those who are needy, and for supporting people, whether it be through shopping or just checking on a neighbour in a governmental compliant way. Also, thank you to the volunteers who are coming up with some really creative ideas. I loved being part of Yitzhak's grants cocktail making class on Thursday night, roping in one of his colleagues from Diageo. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping we're going to be enjoying many more of these, and then probably by the end we will all be very good at making cocktails, is probably the best way to put it. Let me share with you a short idea for this Shabbos, but in truth, like all good rabbis, I'm going to stray from a Parshat HaShavua, Parshat Vayikra, which deals very much with korbanot, with sacrifices, and to share instead an idea to do with Pesach. There is an idea in the Mishnah that on Pesach, on the Seder night, we're supposed to start with Ganut and end with Sherach. We're supposed to start with a low and end with a high. And in the Gemara, in the Talmud, there's a debate. What is the low? What is the low? According to Shmuel, the low is Avadim Hayinu B'Pa'or B'Mitzrayim. We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and therefore the high is that we were taken out of Egypt. According to Rav, he says that actually we need to go much further back in history. Mitchila Avinu Ovdei Avodah Zarah. In the beginning, our forefathers worshipped idols. We start there, and that is the low that is being referred to in the Mishnah. Now, they're not arguing where in history we should start the Seder night, but actually I think they're arguing over the nature of the Seder story, the nature of the Pesach story, the nature of the message that we are supposed to internalize every year on Pesach. According to that first opinion, Shmuel, it's a simple story of freedom. We were slaves and now we're free. According to Rav, it's a much more complex story of transformation. In the beginning, our forefathers, Terach, the father of Abraham, worshipped idols. We believed in a multitude of gods and everything that brought with it. By the end of the story, we were able to point to one God. It says, this is my God. Belief in one God, a God who is good, a God who is kind, a God who therefore puts requirements on us to be good, ethical, moral, and kind. According to Rab, the story of Pesach is not simply a story of freedom, but a story of transformation, of growth, of spiritual change. And as I was reflecting on this narrative, I realized that this is not mutually exclusive with slavery, because the change didn't just happen overnight. It didn't just happen the moment the Jews were freed from Egypt, but was a gradual change which would have continued throughout the years of slavery. We are currently slaves, not to a tyrannical government, but still a government that has put huge restrictions on our everyday existence. Now, don't get me wrong, I am in complete agreement with these restrictions. If they save even one more life than would have been lost, then they are worth it. But still, our lives are restricted. We are no longer free to go out when we like. We are no longer free to meet with our friends. Parents are no longer able to hug their children if they don't live in the same house. Grandparents are no longer able to play with their grandchildren. Seder night is going to have a lot of single people on their own. We are slaves, but that doesn't stop us from being able to change, from being able to grow. The growth of the Jewish people happened still whilst they were in the midst of their slavery. And so perhaps over the next 12 weeks, and let's be honest, this will be 12 weeks probably at least, let's find moments to grow. Let's use our newfound time once it's all calmed down, once we have adjusted to this new normal, once our mind is able to settle. Let's find this new spare time of not having to go on a commute, of being locked inside, to develop a new skill, pick up baking or cooking, to be able to do the DIY that we've been so desperately wanting to do on our houses, to get to know the people who we live with a little bit better, to get to know ourselves a bit better. We can still grow through this time of adversity. And so the challenge that each and every one of us needs to overcome is, how can we grow? How can we take the most out of this horrible time and turn it from a horrible time into a time of opportunity, so that in 12 weeks' time we too are transformed for the better. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.